All set.
Okay, so we'll call the meeting to order. And we will start with roll call. To start with
Maureen Buffy here.
Erin Brewster.
Anna Sumpico.
Norma Smith. Paul St. Armand is absent tonight. We do not have the minutes from March 24th, so we'll have to table that till next month. I can take a vote on that, right? I just table.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, so we'll go right to old business, which is, we were talking about budgets. We've had to come up with a budget, so this is what I just passed out to you, what we finally submitted for a budget. You can go over each item if you want. The cemetery maintenance is in here for $300. Now, they had asked for invoices. Receipts, I think. Maureen.
Yeah, I'm just like
You just have to
curious, like
keep
how do you mean like going forward?
You'd have to keep receipts.
Right, oh, okay,
I mean, it says invoices, but
okay.
receipts, if you're just.
They're just
buying-
store purchases from a box
Yeah,
store.
yeah, I would think invoices should be enough, just,
Okay.
you know. And this year, they came up with 300 because for last year. We had for 283. Oh, I got my paper here. Yeah. This is what I have. For this year, you had annual cost was 235. For cemetery repair and $28 for poison ivy. So I actually worked with Jen Ludwig on this.
Okay,
And she rounded it off to 300
Okay.
for next year.
Okay.
The town map, we really don't know because it hasn't been seen.
yes.
But Anne had come up with some prices if you want to talk about the
Yeah, I
sign.
mean, it's kind of a tough situation because location, it's every place you call, and the closest was Andover, like you would said. They need to see it. So, and I got quotes where somebody said it could be anywhere from 8 to 10 to 20. That it could be, they don't know, they have to see it. It's been complimented who has seen it. They say it's a very nice piece. It's unique, but they said back then they glued things on and some things were painted into the wood. So it's an unusual, it's a very nice piece of work, and we have to be careful with it because it's going to have to be transported up there. And the only really way to do it, because it is a value, is to get the town to get one of their vehicles and have somebody drive it up. And I will certainly go up with them, but it's got to be packed in there correctly. And, you know, there's liability issues. So you want to make sure that if the town wants this done, we have to do it right. So.
We don't want to throw it in
Can-
the back of your-
Can we, so you, I guess, you know how when you have someone come to your house to do like a quote, so you pay them to come to your house, can we pay them a small fee to come to the map instead of trying to get the map to them?
I did ask that, and this particular organization, it's not really what they do because they're very busy. It's not the type of thing where they just, and it's about a 2.5 hour ride.
Mm.
And they did not, they said that's not one of the things they do. So,
Okay.
And that's the closest one.
yeah, yeah. The other ones were in Brooklyn, New York, Florida. And all that. So that one's, it's pretty, they're very nice there though. And she definitely, when we're ready to move on it, I have a contact and we will. And I think we can get it up there. We'll just have to make sure we plan it, and that's all. And the town is in a good position, you know, and to do that.
So because, is this, the minimum is gonna be, is, you said it could be anywhere between 8 and 12, so I'm just wondering, do we have to get multiple quotes because it's of the value?
I think the main thing right now, and even when they're very hesitant to even give a price out because they need to see it right in front of them. So I think the most important thing is let somebody see it. And then when somebody says this can be done, I think then we can take that step at a time. But right now, they really need to see it. So, and then we'll find out. It could be a lot of money, or it could be not as bad as we thought, but that's kind of where we are with that. They seem to like it. They compliment it. You just don't see that type of thing done anymore like that. So
Well, I kind of put the 8,000 in there because I'm sure there's gonna be a charge to look at it. So at least getting it there and having them look at it would be covered within this, and then possibly, depending on what they say, getting it repaired.
What I'll do is I'm gonna speak with the woman again. She's really nice, and I think they just need to see it. I don't think they're gonna charge us to see it. I really don't. I'm pretty sure. So I'll verify with that again.
Mhm.
And at least I can tell her, look, we're trying to make arrangements. I'm gonna contact you. I'll check in with her every month or two, just to see where we are.
Mhm.
But they seem like they want to work with us, but they just need to see it, and they'll know. They'll know right away.
Well, yeah, they're not gonna give a number.
Right.
Do we know what the date is on that, when it was
That's
made?
from 1941.
19
When I guess the town, I think maybe they started the town, I'm guessing, I'm sure somebody could say, but it's from 1941.
When
And
they built that town.
When they built it, it was probably done. Maybe they did it in 40 or 41, but I know they opened it.
But I think it's one of George Madison's maps that they did into it. It looks similar to his.
It does look similar, but I'm not sure because there wasn't any marking on the back of it or anything.
Okay.
Usually he leaves his mark
Mhm.
somewhere, and I didn't see
Mhm.
that anywhere.
Mhm.
But it's, I think they kind of did the maps like that too back then. It was
Yeah.
kind of nice the way they did them. So it's unique. They're not around anymore. It would be really nice if we could. And at least if we know and we can't, then maybe it should be hung up somewhere safe, not just against the wall.
Well, yeah.
Yeah. So
So John, we want to get it to Andover.
Mhm.
What do we do?
Well, we would need to find a vehicle big enough, obviously, so. I guess I could start calling around to different departments.
a
seeing
van
what-
would be fine. And if it was, if the floor was cleared, because
Yeah.
it's a piece of wood and it's heavy. But I think if it could be laid down in the van, but it depends. I think what my concern is too is it's another thing to get a vehicle, but the vehicle might arrive and it might not be a good place for it, if you know what I mean. Like,
Yeah, I mean, I'm trying to think, because it needs to be a completely flat floor too, and
Mhm.
a lot of vehicles
I
Do you
mean,
know
don't have
the
that.
dimensions of it?
yeah, I'd have to, as a matter of fact, it's right. It's I think I wrote it down as this, I don't know if
You
it's,
gave it to me, but I don't have that.
it's probably
Yeah, it's
5 feet
centimeters.
high and 10 feet long, something
Oh.
along those lines, but it's on thick wood like this.
Okay. So
But
it
it-
is not in any way
No, there's no
moldable or
no
flexible. It's
linen
so-
behind it.
okay.
And that's what they could tell. They said, oh, there's no linen behind this. It's like they adhered it right on the wood. So I think it could be even lean. It depends how long the van is,
Well, it's
but I think.
leaning
it
up
would fit.
now, right?
Yeah,
So-
yeah, I think it could be leaned up there.
Mhm.
I would just have to make sure that who I'm with, we're putting it in there right. I don't
Right.
want it to, you know.
Yeah, so I could start making some calls and seeing what does the town have available for us, and
Yeah,
yeah, then we'll go from there. Now, would this just be a case where we just drop it off and they'll
Uh,
take it and,
the impression I got, and
Keep it for a
again,
while.
once I call her and say, look, we're serious about this, we're gonna do this. The impression I got was they would look at it like
Yep.
right away, have people looking at it right away, because they know that we gotta bring it up there and they don't
Yeah.
want to tie it up. So I'm pretty positive, but I'd verify that before
Okay.
we go up. I'd make sure everything was in line.
So it's
Okay.
like a back and forth in one day, you think?
Oh, yeah.
I
okay,
mean, we don't need the sign there.
No, I wouldn't, no, and I wouldn't leave it anyway, because I don't want to depend on anybody else to,
right.
you know,
Okay.
they're very good, but I don't even think they would want, I don't think they would want us to leave it, because
Mm.
things can happen.
They just need to see if it's.
Yeah, I think they
doable
could-
For one thing.
I could tell her, and I say, we'll get it, we're gonna get here at this time, and I'll make all the arrangements, and she'll have very organized there, I'll have somebody look at it. The good part is they might not even have to, they might have it where you drive it right in and they put it out on something, and right away, they look and they'll know,
Mhm.
so,
Okay, and you said that's Andover, Mass?
yes.
All right, I'll start making some calls and seeing what's available to us, and
See,
We'll
we
go from
at
there.
first we said, oh, just even Jim moved, like, so put it in
Yeah,
the
you
back of my
can't do
car.
it like that,
And
yeah.
then, oh.
Put it on the roof.
Yeah.
Well, then you're taking on that liability.
Yeah,
and
yeah,
really
no,
not.
and I'm glad you pointed that
nobody-
out. 'cause I
nobody
hadn't
should
even
have
thought
that.
of that.
Yeah. you
I
can't.
hadn't even thought about that. So, Okay, so you're gonna look into
Yeah.
that for us.
Yeah, no
Something-
rush, and
something
I'll,
has to be available, right?
yeah, and like I said, once you say, yeah, we think we have a vehicle that'll get it up there, then I'll talk with her and I'll make sure when it's ready to go, everything will be in order.
Mhm.
It'll be like
Yeah.
that. It
Okay.
won't be hassle.
Okay. The house plaque program, Jen Ludwig suggested we ask for some funds for promotion of it. You know, putting it in the reminder or whatever, so people know that the signs are gonna be available to the public. So she suggested we put in some funds for, like I say, the reminder or whatever. The people will pay for their signs. We have not determined how that works yet. As far as people would pay for them, and it would go into the town fund, the town treasury. But to me, that money should be secured for that. You don't want to see it
Yeah.
going to pay for what something it's not supposed to.
Yeah, and it's tough though too, because when you start exchanging money, you don't want to be in a position where, oh, hey, Norma's got all the money, or
It
Aaron's
should
got
go-
all the money.
It
or
should go
anything.
through the town.
Yeah, yeah.
But
you
I
don't
want
wanna
it
be in that position.
protected to that degree that it doesn't, you know, sometimes I know in the past they've done this at the end of the year, they're trying to.
Yeah, I understand. I
And
understand.
if people are paying for those, because it's not covered by taxes, that money is theirs.
Yeah, I
It's
think,
not town money per se,
yeah.
like a tax.
Somebody could change their
thing.
mind too and say, hey, yeah, change my mind.
That's
Could you
true.
give me the money back?
Yeah, so, you know, I just don't want it going into general fund. And then it's gone.
Yeah, you don't want it to get lost like that, so.
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah, so, any comments about that? I never thought about promotion. She came up with that, you know, promoting it, that this program is
Mhm.
starting.
Mm.
You want one for your house, fill out an application, you pay the fee.
Mhm.
You know,
Yeah, I think if you're gonna promote it, you have to have everything else in place too, like,
right,
who are they gonna send the money into? And you wanna make
Right.
sure people aren't leaving cash in an envelope anywhere.
right,
And so we should come up with a plan and make sure that once we're
Yeah.
ready to go forward, that make sure we know exactly how it's gonna be and there's no surprises.
I mean, an application form, they have to prove their houses, and we're not doing their legwork for them as far as, and it's not like National Registry, that you have to do a lot of work to. But they have to fill out the application, prove the history of the house or the year of the house. And then we need to have the sign maker lined up and how long before they get their sign.
I think people are gonna have questions too, right? Like they might say like, well, I don't know, how do I find out the information on my house and how big is the sign gonna be? And
What
do I
does it
have to
look
put it
like?
up?
Yeah.
And that's
Yeah.
where you're gonna get into the,
Yeah, because we've looked at signs, but we really don't have the dimensions. I mean, we have an idea.
Mhm.
But this is for preliminary next year, maybe in the fall. We'll have the information about the signs. We'll have an application. I've got a copy of Barrington's. And by then we should be all set for those decisions, I hope, to be made. We would know how they're gonna pay for them. If they're through the, you know, if it goes through the town or what.
it might not be as complicated as we think either.
No,
Somebody at the town hall would, the
Well, I've
the
asked the
monies would go
question
into.
more than once, and
Because it's such a new,
they
maybe because
haven't
it's
really
new.
answered me. I know when Bobby Tebow was here, he said it was very easy to do, to set up specific counts for specific purposes. And then nobody can touch them for something else.
I
But
see what you're saying.
I've asked the question of the people here now, and then they're not
Yeah.
answering that question. But, you know, they've got a lot of other stuff.
Yeah, they might not know
going
for
on.
sure either, but I bet if we set it up where we say, this is what we think, sounds like a good idea, and kind of put it back and say, how does this sound? Can we go forward with this? And at least if we put everything in place, it's just a matter of,
And how does it work
yeah.
at the financial end? Questions? Erin?
So I guess I'm trying to, so the money that they pay for their house plaque is
Yeah.
to pay the sign maker.
To pay for the plaque.
So then we Coventry town would never be the middleman for that. They would pay the sign, wouldn't it go direct to the sign maker? We wouldn't have a fund. You have to, you know what I'm saying? I don't,
Well, those are the things we have to know because
like,
we're.
they would
government-
pay the town of
Commission.
Coventry, and then Coventry pays the sign maker, and then we take the sign, and it's like this weird middleman dynamic that
Yeah,
doesn't.
but we're also a town commission, so I don't know if you can do it that way.
Yeah, because there might be, I can see what you're saying. There might be questions where people might say like, I paid the guy for my sign, but I haven't got it yet and I don't like the work he did either. Like there's kind of that, I know what you're saying, but you're right. I don't think we can make it like a private, it's got to go through the town. The way we.
Just
do.
because
That's
it's a
what they-
commission, if it were a
Yeah.
historical society, it'd be very simple.
Yeah, we're a little different. We're not the
It's,
501c.
it's,
and, yeah.
it's because it's a town commission. That's
You
what we
might
have
get
to find
complaints
out.
that way too, Aaron, you know, like if they have to deal with the sign guy themselves, that could cause all types of problems. Then it would make us look bad because it's getting out of control. People complaining about, hey, I gave the guy money, you didn't do it. What's going on? The town said it was, you know, so I wouldn't want to deal with the,
I mean, we can, look at that. But I want to do it in a way that we're protected,
yeah, because you don't want,
and it should be simple, but it's not.
and it might be, it might be,
No, I just because it's a town commission, that's the only thing,
yeah, it's a little different.
because it would be easier your way.
Oh, yeah,
I mean, what you just said.
Yeah.
But I want
Yeah.
to be sure because it's a town commission.
yeah, I don't think we can do it that way.
Well, I mean, we'll see. That would be easier, just so.
No, it
Maybe
would be,
sign
but
off,
I
There's no.
think you could get complaints.
Well, and there again, if we're ever brought up to council
Mm,
and they have questions, we really don't know what the sign maker's doing. We have no control
or
over it.
how he's talking to people or how he's
Yeah.
coming through with.
So,
Mhm.
you
Okay.
know, just because it's a commission.
Yep.
Okay. I put the stone etchings on the rock by the first townhouse on here. And Paul was supposed to have somebody look at it to give us an idea of cost. Right here, I've got $1,000. It may not even cost that much, but I had to get this in.
Yeah.
So,
okay.
That's why there's the $1,000. I threw in the Perez Peck cap, Surreal's cap. Well, I guess my machine corrected my spelling. A Searles Capwell Mill site, to put signage up there, because there's a path through there up to the back of the property, to the mill pond and back down, and possibly we could have Boy Scouts clean out the trail. It's not a huge big piece of property, but it's the remnants of all this is still there. It's considered an archaeological site.
Oh,
So
wow.
that's why that's there.
I don't even know where that is. Norma.
It's on Capwell Avenue, Capwell Street, Capwell, across from Byron Reed Building.
Oh, oh, yeah, right in, yeah, right. Captain.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, it's down in Capwell Street, Capwell, whatever it is.
Yeah, it's right in the middle of, I didn't expect I couldn't.
Yeah, well, it's in a national district, so it's in a historic district, so it qualifies for grants and such. But, I had to put that in there. And then I put the pink granite in at the estimate that Paul had given for 10,000. Because we don't really have a firm price, but like I say, it's
Yeah,
either
no,
that
that's
or
good.
wait another year
Yeah, that's good.
to put it in. Now, both the sign and the pink granite are the ARPA funds. Is that the money from COVID? Is that what that is?
Good relief money.
Relief
Yes.
money, yeah. And she suggested doing that, so I put that in there. So,
Okay.
any questions on any of this?
The pink granite doesn't have a budget year. Are we going to try for this year's budget?
Yes. Oh, I thought I had added that.
And then, is there a 1 and 2 that you decided to remove because it starts at 3?
Oh, yes, I took out, I had a list of all of our projects. And I took the ones out that we're gonna talk about for this year.
Okay.
This is 2023. And this is what I sent to the town manager. But I had corrected this, but I think I printed up the wrong one. Because I had changed all the dates and everything on it, but,
That's all right.
I just wanted something for you guys to see and
Yeah,
not just
give
for
us
me
an
to
idea.
talk.
Sure.
So does everybody okay with this? I mean, we can't vote on it, because you already submitted it.
Yeah.
Yes, it's good.
Good.
Okay.
Yep, it's good.
Okay.
Thank
job.
you. Yep, thank
Good
you,
job.
Norma.
Yeah,
Thank you.
no, I just want to be sure you guys are okay with it. All right, so the brown signs are on. And that's what I didn't bring, my other list. The brown signs are, Jen had put in for our money now, if we wanted more. No, I took it out because if we need more signs down the road, we don't know if the town would have to pay for them or not, right?
Additional signs?
For other districts. Say we wanted to do Harris.
I wouldn't think
Down
so.
the
I
road.
would not think so. Because I think these fall into the same category that the historical cemetery signs
Yeah.
do. There's a federal grant money that the state gets for informational type signs. So my understanding was there was no cost to us because they never put a price out there
Okay, so we're
from the
doing
beginning.
4.
So we're doing 4, and then I think doing anything going forward, you just have to justify how these additional signs meet the criteria, and if they approve it, I think it's the same thing. This round was pretty easy because those districts are already on the national registers, and that's already documented, so all I had to do was say that these are, so it was, yes,
That's good.
so I don't know what happens beyond that. If they fall into the same category, I should think it would be the same.
Well, we'll worry about that when the time comes.
Yeah.
Now, so are they scheduled to go up, or do
Um,
we have to tell?
You know what,
the
I probably
town
have to,
something?
I probably have to, you know what, that's one thing too that I haven't done beyond initially, when I ran it by the town manager, who thought it would be a good idea. Beyond that, I haven't made it official to the town council or anything like that, so maybe it would be good to do before the signs just pop
Sure,
up
yeah.
when they, whenever they decide to get to it.
They're putting up new signs, John, in town.
Where?
There's something on Facebook, welcome to Coventry, looks like the same sign, but on the other side now it says you're leaving historic, beautiful
I haven't
Coventry.
seen
So
that.
I saw that today. In Quidneck there by the trestle. I saw
Okay.
somebody working on the sign, but I didn't think anything of it.
Was it one of those Anthony ones, was it, the
No,
brown
the
signs?
blue, no, the
Oh,
blue
oh.
sign,
Okay,
like you see by Arnold Road.
yeah.
It was one of those, but the other side said, I don't have my phone. The other side, you are leaving
Oh.
the beautiful town of Coventry,
Oh.
some such thing. So it's like a welcome and a leaving,
Oh,
which they didn't do before. So you don't know anything
No,
about
I
that.
haven't seen that, no.
Yeah, that's over, it looked like over near Quidneck.
I wonder who would initiate something like that.
I don't know, I'm surprised to see it, but I'm gonna really check it out tomorrow when I go by. Because I saw somebody working there, and then I saw it on Facebook, so I'm gonna check it out tomorrow. Yeah, it's got the symbol, the town seal, and, yeah, it's a nice looking sign.
Oh, nice.
Okay. Reed School. I have here a copy of the invoice to repair, to do the plexiglass. Now, we're gonna do that on this year's budget,
960.
and that's
That's
installed.
that's purchase and install.
Yeah.
Hmm, you know,
That's installed,
it's very good.
so. And then I
Do you
have
want to see this, John?
Maureen's cemetery expenses for this year. We're gonna try to reimburse them for that.
Mm.
Put them now on save receipts.
Yep.
So now I submit these to the town manager. What's the
No,
next process for this?
At this point, I would be able to take this
Okay,
and, yeah, I'll just keep this one and we'll be able to get
Okay.
them a check sent out.
now, that's Maureen's cemetery expenses for this year.
Okay,
Same thing?
yep, same thing.
Okay,
So at that point, yeah, it's that simple. I could take these and if I have any more questions, I'll just reach
No.
out.
if they're gonna pay that cemetery bill, who gets the money?
Yeah,
Maybe
that's the
Patuxent-
only,
Well, yeah, I don't know how to do this because Patuxent Valley, we have an account at Patuxent Valley Historical Society that is specifically for the cemetery group. So,
But isn't that a lot of West Warwick? I mean, we have to keep it separate from West Warwick.
yeah, no, I understand that, but that's just like how we've done it, like when we've gotten grant money or we did or Colin repaired stones at a cemetery out in Western Coventry. And the one of the descendants was so happy when he saw the job that Colin had done that he sent us a check as a gift.
Oh,
And
nice.
it went to that account at
Okay.
Patuxent Valley. So, yeah, so I mean, like for the sake of appearances, I don't know how that is, but I know like we've done this before when we've gotten material donated from the town that we made it a point that we allocate this is used for repairs in Coventry, not West Warwick, but I mean, that's on us, but I
Yeah.
don't know how for the sake of appearances, I don't know
So what do you think?
how to go
John?
around that.
yeah, I'm not sure because I can't do anything with this because it,
Right, so
There's
you would
no
need
way to
receipts,
send
right?
that.
You would need physical receipts. Okay.
yeah, because right here, there's nowhere to send the money to or anything like that.
It's not an invoice, it's just.
Right. But if there's an account set up, you said the town has an account currently?
Patuxent Valley.
But it's a
Okay.
historical
Society.
society.
Okay,
And if we put on the subject or the memo line that it's for the cemetery group,
Mhm.
then the historical society puts that money aside specifically for our group.
Because
It doesn't go into their general.
it used to
budget.
be a Coventry Cemetery Committee,
Mhm.
but they couldn't find a place in town to meet.
okay.
So they meet at the Patuxent Valley Society in West Warwick, because they got a place to meet. And that's how that transpired as far as they work with Patuxent Valley.
Mhm. Okay.
So they do some West Warwick, but they do Coventry, because part of Coventry's in the Patuxent Valley, so.
And that gave us access to their 501c3, which we wouldn't have been able to afford on our.
Right, right. So,
So yeah, I think some sort of receipt
Okay.
or proof that they either paid something or provided service,
Okay,
and then that way we could get them paid,
okay,
if that's possible.
yeah, that's fair.
all right, we're just trying to figure out how to handle that, because
Yep.
it's,
Yeah, because I know in the past, like, for instance, with the land trust, where one of the members, he had to get reimbursed for getting a porta-john for one of their events. So in that case, we just need the receipt, and I think the finance department, they like requested like some sort of statement. They just need some sort of proof and where are we sending the money? So if we can get that, and we'll try sending it off to them, and as we go through the process, they might ask for either more information or they'll make a determination that it's sufficient. So yeah, if we could get something, some sort of receipt, I think that would be a good first step, and then we can work with them to see what more they might need.
Makes sense.
That's reasonable, yeah.
also Reed School. Before we move on. The electricity has been turned back on. But the lights only work if you go up and flip them on and off. The timer isn't working, the spotlights. So I spoke to someone today, and they're gonna see about replacing them, or if they need an electrician, and they're gonna let me know about the lights. Because we're not gonna run back and forth. and turn it
No,
on
and it
off.
might be a simple solution, a timer. I mean, you know how timer, it might be simpler.
Yeah.
than we
They
think,
may
so-
just replace them with something else.
Okay, yeah.
So I don't know the cost of that yet.
Mhm.
And the World War II Memorial, I didn't put here because it's on for this year. And the reason why I put it on for this year is because it was suggested that we put solar lights rather than have an electrician come out and maybe have to replace all the wiring or whatever, which would be an expense.
Yeah, and everybody is doing solar
So
lights.
you
I mean, solar lights do work.
So
It's-
it's like a bowl and they would go in the bowl and light up the torch.
Especially because that
Yeah.
air is out in the open in full,
Yeah,
in
full
full
sun.
sun,
Yeah.
so.
So that could
And
be a
usually
very,
those come on automatically.
Yeah,
that's a
because
good
it's already
idea.
sensing the light. When
yeah,
the light
so
goes
that
away,
could
it
be a
turns
very
on.
cost-effective way of
Oh,
fixing it. And
yeah.
then if they die, you put new ones in.
Yes. Solar
Because,
lighting is really picking up and
Yeah,
it's-
because they
that's a
took a
great
picture
idea.
of it and you could see in the bowl, the light bulbs and everything are still
Mhm.
there. Then maybe just need new light bulbs. I don't know. But I'm just thinking the solar option might be the better way to go as far as expense. And then we could take it out of this year's money. It's not like it's gonna be thousands of dollars. I mean, for probably $100, you could get the solar lights and put them in.
That's a good idea.
So is everybody,
That's a great idea.
do we have to take a vote?
I would say a vote might be necessary if we had a specific light that, hey, yes, we're gonna go and buy this
Okay.
one.
Yeah, I see
but
what you're saying.
I
Yeah.
think right now it's a little too vague to have a light
Okay,
without
so-
any sort of associated cost
he's-
or
He
specification.
looked
to it.
at cost and he says he thinks for less than $100 to do it.
Okay,
Um,
so
so we'll
maybe you
look
could
into
hold a
it.
vote to buy a solar light up
Yeah.
to $100, and then that way we're not
Okay.
waiting on any sort of purchase. And if it's over that, then you'll hold a new vote. That might work.
That sound good?
Yeah, it sounds good.
So
Yeah, it's a good idea.
we have a motion to.
Yeah, motion to
Purchase.
vote on the solar lights.
Yeah.
All in favor?
Up to
Up to
$100.
All in favor? Aye.
All in
Aye.
favor?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Okay.
So yeah, I like
Yeah, it's a good idea. I think it's a
simple
great
fixes.
idea.
And not expensive, because I thought if they have to replace, what if they have to replace all the wiring and all that? I mean,
It's funny you should say that. My neighbor's an electrician and I have an old lamp post that used to be my family's. It's 51 years old. And he said, Ian, don't wire it in or anything. He says, you get solar lights. So you don't have to do anything like that. So that's what, and he said they're very good today. So great idea. So
yeah, so we're gonna look at that and hopefully get that done. So if we can get Reed School done, World War II Museum, what was the other one?
Before I get a question, sorry,
Yeah.
going back to read. So now that we have this quote,
Mhm.
what, all that's left is what to go
Well,
actually
that's-
do it?
That's finishing the Reed School as far as the windows are concerned. It's protection,
No, I understand that.
okay.
I guess what I'm saying is is that all that's required? The town's gonna cut a check and then we hand
We
it
have to
to
submit this.
Coventry Glass and then,
So at that point, I guess the question is, this is just an estimate right now. Are they expecting payment before any of the services are rendered, or do they get paid at the completion of the job? I don't know if that's been discussed.
Paul is the one who spoke with them.
I think it's different for every type of service.
Yeah.
Some say, at the end of the job, we get paid, because right now this is just an estimate. There's
Mm.
no, it's not an invoice or anything, so it's hard to pay on an estimate.
Okay. I'll ask Paul.
Yeah, and then once you have that answer, you can just
Yeah.
let me know. That way, I don't want to jump the gun and
No,
have them
no,
cut
no,
a
yeah.
check for something that
Yeah.
they're
okay.
like, wait, why do we have this? We haven't done anything
Yeah.
yet.
gotcha.
Yeah, okay, all right. So that, at least we have that invoice, so I think we
Mhm.
can kind of go ahead with that once we have these questions
Yep.
answered from Paul. The solar lights we're gonna look at. See really how expensive it is. If it's more than $100, we'll do it.
Yeah.
Well, we have to do this by July 1st, right? With our existing monies,
Yeah, I would say,
Yeah.
the sooner the better.
yeah,
Yeah.
because we're getting to the end of the year. So I'll
And
look at,
as far as the light goes,
Yeah.
if anybody goes out and finds a light that works for them, then I would say, you can reach out to me, and then depending on where
Yeah.
this light is, I know, for instance, we have an account, DPW has an account with Home Depot,
Mhm.
that we could use their card, and that
okay.
makes things a little easier as far as getting payment for those. So
Okay. Now we'll,
that's an option. If you want to go and find the light, let me know, and then I can get it purchased.
so if we do that through DPW, we would transfer funds to DPW? is that-
Yeah, so what happens is we would use their card,
Mhm.
and then we would go through your budget, send
Okay.
that
Mm.
receipt
Mhm.
through the program, and it would be paid out of your funds. That way they get reimbursed.
Okay, all right. Okay. I think that was the lights at the school and World War II. See, I didn't bring my other paper. I'll do. What else had we talked about for this year? Can any of you remember? It's not expensive.
Was that? Wasn't that it?
That was it, right? Because it was all these other things too.
I think we covered it. I
Yeah.
can't think of anything.
Yeah,
That's everything on the last agenda.
yeah, okay. So that's, all right, so we need solar light information. We need more information on the plexiglass. I'll find out more about what they decide on the lights at the Reed School. I think if, with the brown signs, I think if we can get all that done this year, it's like, that's a good thing.
Yeah.
You know, and it's been a long time, we've been talking about these things, so those few things, getting them accomplished is a good thing.
Yeah, I think the meetings, the personal meetings face to face is really important.
Yeah.
Because Zoom is great if that's all you have. But the
No, in
face-to-face-
person is better. I
Yeah.
like it better. I mean, Zoom's okay, but
Yeah.
I know Paul has a hard time hearing it too, so.
Yeah,
with Zoom,
it is difficult. It's
Yeah.
really difficult.
so. Okay. Is there anything else you want that we should discuss as far as the monies go? That's all I put on the agenda. Larry Minier wanted to come again tonight to find out your feedback on what that GPS thing he's doing, but I told him not this month.
Yeah.
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 So he's probably gonna come next month. I don't know what he wants as far as feedback.
So a lot of the work that he's done makes anything we want to go and put onto the register a whole lot easier. He's done almost 90% of the research for us, right?
which is- Yeah,
So
yeah.
there's also a couple of grants coming up that we could go for that would basically be a review of the town, documenting what we would put on the register, and like,
Okay.
so it would be a grant to pay for stuff like that. I have no idea how much effort is actually required, and I'm sure the paperwork and the research is like intensive.
Yeah.
So I don't know if we actually want to go after something like that, but if he's done all the prep
He's doing
work
the
and we can
groundwork,
get a
yeah.
grant, it might be worth it to do another review of the town like was done way back from that report we keep referencing.
And September is when the Rhode Island state grants come out, and you can apply for national registry work. But it's a match. It's not,
Oh, I get what you're saying. Yeah, so if they want to give you, yeah. I got it.
it's a match.
Okay.
Now, Green has not been done, Harris has not been done as far as villages are concerned for historic. Washington has not been done, South Main Street has, but a lot of Washington is missing. So I don't know if it could be done. I just think that if they had, when they did Anthony, pursued it further into Washington, rather than doing it separately, it would have made sense, but they did Anthony and putting it together, that they didn't go beyond, because they went to that Batty Street.
Yeah.
But that's, I don't know how much of Washington is it worth a national registry, a lot of it's gone. But I
Well, I
think,
think there's still, I mean, there's still a lot of historical houses.
well,
when
there
you come
is,
down
but
there.
I was driving through tonight and thinking, okay, we could do from Anthony to Station Street, Payne House area. And then there's all new buildings till you get past Newell Court. So can you do it in two pieces? I mean, the plaza's not old. You've got the bar,
Right, right.
Yeah, that's an old building.
it's an old building, yeah, but it's kind of there by itself.
Mm.
And those two houses, those houses that are near the liquor store, those buildings, he wants to take them down. So they're gonna be gone. So Washington will be more difficult. I think you could maybe extend the Anthony one till Station Street, and you could extend South Main Street up if you wanted to. I
I'm
don't know.
surprised that some of the houses that are on the, let's say, the end of South Main Street that's furthest away from 117, heading towards Route 3 that way. I'm surprised how many houses got left, like, in other words, after Wood Street. I'm surprised there's several
It stopped
historic
at Wood
homes that,
Street.
yeah,
It
and I'm
stopped
kind of
at Wood
surprised,
Street,
and I'm
which
kind of
is kind of
surprised.
strange, because
There
when
were
you
some,
go that way, there are still
yeah.
old farmhouses and such. I mean, some houses aren't as
Yes.
old. I don't know why they stopped.
and this is some
at
kind
that
of a
point.
hoot, when you read the description of each structure that's been designated as part of this
Yeah.
district. There's a description for one building that describes it as a metal intrusion.
That's true. That's
It
true.
was funny, a metal intrusion. And I'm not naming names, but that's,
But it's true, if we want to
The
pursue on
description.
more national districts.
So I mean, that's one way to leverage the work that Larry's been doing.
Well, even local districts, which we've talked about more than once. People seem to think we're gonna go over and tell them what to do with their house.
but even in Anthony, when you look at the map of which buildings are part of the district.
Yeah.
They skip they skip houses.
they do, they
They
do.
don't, so,
Well, because they're not that,
right. So I mean, like, so that's not unrealistic.
yeah, it's
To
just,
do
that's
that.
something I've never done before, so I really don't know how
Right.
complicated or, but they did Roaring Brook, but they didn't do Green, which is right next to each
And
other.
I think the sign goes, Hopkins Hollow, Roaring Brook
Mhm.
are together, on the same, on the same sign.
Yeah. Yeah.
The same district, that they're included together,
You've got Rice City that's done, but Green has not been done,
right?
and there's still a lot of green that's still there. Summit, there's not much at Summit anymore. The church is falling down. The library. If someone's interested in the library, could they come to us and say they're interested and show us their idea, and we shift it on to the town manager or whoever? I know somebody who's interested in it, and he gets no response whenever he approaches somebody, so,
Okay. And that's town owned, correct?
yes.
Yeah, so, I mean, if he wanted to come forward to you and say what his ideas are, and then you guys could maybe put a bug in somebody's ear, that's
Okay.
not a bad idea.
I know
That might,
he's
with-
tried,
with a little more interest on
Yeah.
his side, it might,
he's tried
things
at different
moving a little
levels,
better.
but I don't know if he tried with this manager or the last manager. I really don't know, but he has never gotten any response back.
Yeah.
So I just was thinking that maybe if he came here
Mhm.
and said, this is what I want to do, and we could say, oh, look at this, and show it to
Yeah.
them, and
Yeah,
maybe,
that's a good idea.
maybe,
yeah, there's certainly no guarantees, but I think
no, but
there would be more ammunition on
yeah,
on that
because
end.
they're
if
talking
they have
about
more
doing
people
things
asking.
with buildings, and, the town's not gonna put money into that
Mhm.
for Summit Library. They're not.
Mhm.
It needs a lot of work.
Yeah.
But anyway, no, I was just wondering about that, but
That's a good
I
idea.
thought maybe when we get our projects done, maybe we can look at National Registry. In the next year or two. Because if there are grants, at least we're not paying for the whole thing.
Yeah, I guess I don't know how we go get the bodies to do the legwork of the
Yeah.
researching and the paperwork. So having money is good, but we still would need physical bodies to help us
Yeah.
with all of that.
Yeah.
I don't know where you go find people for that.
I will say, and this still kind of goes along with the budget. I think for now, at least what Larry and Lynn Carlson are talking about is just trying to get your feedback on what they provided you to see, best case scenario, how do you think this platform should work? And I think their end goal, they're going out to each and every one of the different boards and commissions, and they're trying to get feedback from all of them and kind of showing all the boards and commissions, this is what you could have. The town currently doesn't have this. And I think their end game is to have the different boards and commissions then go to either the town manager or the town council and say, hey, we need this. We want you guys to invest more money into this platform. So I think a good first step would just be playing with the program, seeing what you think works and what doesn't work and what you would like to see out of it. And then they can say, yeah, that's realistic. We can do that. Or maybe that wouldn't work. But I think they want to start that dialogue. That way, these boards and commissions can take the ball and run with it. So I think that would be a good first step rather than trying to figure out what we need to budget for at the moment. I think the first step would be trying to figure out, do we have this platform available to us? Just to kind of clarify what I've heard Larry say.
Well, it definitely makes it easier.
Mhm.
Pinpointing all the historic
Mhm.
places in the town. I've looked at the maps and it's like, you don't, I looked at the old George Madison maps and said, oh, there's that, but
Yeah,
to
it's-
actually be able to say, oh, this is where that is.
Yeah, it's a little difficult. The old Madison maps are fun because you actually see the landmarks
Yeah,
and they're
yeah.
pretty great, but it is harder to the other.
But
yeah.
like with her doing this brown signs, you need to have boundaries. I mean, I know where the villages are. I don't really know where the boundaries are.
Right.
Or if anything we add. I'd like to do a historic trail through town. Whether it's by car or whatever. I don't know if he could do that, but I mean, it's just, some kind of like a little path that people could follow.
Yeah, so I would say, write down any ideas that you have for the
Okay.
program, and then that
Yeah.
would be a good dialogue
Mhm.
that they
Okay.
can say, yeah, certainly we can do something like that. And then if that program ever does come to fruition, then I think, okay, now what does the commission do with that? I think the first step though is getting the town to want to put the effort and money into it. And that's their goal.
Okay. Do you have anything else on grants that you'd like to say? And put that on the agenda. Because we'll have to start focusing on that once we get past this stuff. And see what they'll say yes to. And then if the whole budget doesn't pass.
We'll be talking to Larry a lot more.
Right, right. Okay, anything else that we need to discuss?
Public comment.
Oh, I always forget. Is
There's
there-
nobody on
Oh, there's nobody on, okay.
except for us. And there's nobody
Okay.
here, so
Does anybody want to make a public comment?
No, I'm all set. Thank you.
Is everybody okay?
Just Andy.
All right, well, that was short. So do we have a motion to adjourn?
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Fine.
Opposed? Okay.